Today's story will awaken your soul. Please watch the story till the end, dear friends. Today we are about Quran. I'm about to describe an incident which happened to a dead man, seeing which all the villagers were surprised. So guys, here's what actually happened. I'm going to tell you in the video, but before that, if you don't like the video, if you do, then like the video. And if you still our YouTube, if you don't subscribe to the channel, then subscribe the channel. Next, click on the bell icon. So let's get started. Friends, once upon a time in a village, a Muslim man died. Someone's family, relatives. There was no trace if any of a Muslim death happens and no one lives in his house, one's family and relatives. If there is no information, it is the villagers bathing the dead person, takes responsibility for burial, just like a Muslim. When he died, there was no one in his house. So the villagers bathed him, took responsibility, others after bathing. The way funeral is taught, his funeral namaz was also taught in the same way. The funeral prayer is over, and the people present at the funeral prayer and some villagers to the dead man taken to the cemetery for burial, going to the cemetery to bury the dead. The grave is dug. Friends, about the cemetery. So we know that many times the grave, it becomes so old that it is a corpse, no name target found. The grave of this Muslim person is exactly like that. A grave was being dug. When graves are carved, stay by the soil of the grave becomes very weak, due to which the legs of the dead person are seen sticking out. People coming to bury the new body, when he saw the corpse's feet in the old grave, then they smiled. They saw there were roses blooming in that grave. Everyone was surprised to see that. They began to think, until today many graves where they saw graves. There are trees above, flowers are blooming, even in the shade of trees they saw graves. But they never saw flowers blooming inside the grave. After seeing this scene, people decided that half of the graves have been dug. Then why this grave is well repaired, be done. When they dig the grave well, observed, then they saw the grave. Intoxicating aroma is wafting from. The aroma was so good that everyone, he was going crazy with the smell. The villagers saw that there were many graves. The dead body is old, completely intact and shrouded. The cloth was not dirty at all. Friends, everyone is surprised to see this scene. It reached the extreme level. A curiosity was working among all that. They wanted to know whose grave. What did that person do in his life, for which he is enjoying comfort, even in the grave after death? What he did, for which even after his death so many years, the fragrance wafts from the grave. Everyone decided that this grave they will find the whereabouts of the owner. They again covered the grave with earth, and the villagers take the dead body with them, brought him and buried him too. Then the villagers are all around. The village spread and that grave trying to find the owner. Several days of hard work and old age. After consulting individuals, they finally find out who that person really was. Then some of them came together, arrived at that man's house. It looked very old, and it didn't seem like there. Someone says there is, people are at that door. A weak voice answered from within, come in, the door is open. The villagers entered the house. Entering the house, they found there is a very old and weak one. The woman was sitting. The woman has a lot of body, was weak. People ask him started. They asked that one in such a place, in such a cemetery, there is a grave. Heard that the grave, the owner once lived here. So you tell us that, whose grave is it, we are there. I saw a strange thing. A very nice smell was wafting from the grave. Roses were blooming inside the grave. The body of the deceased is still intact, and a little on his shroud. No dirt. Whose grave is it? Hearing this, the woman remained silent for some time. He replied, you go. The grave you are talking about is mine husband's grave. He is in his youth, had died. People asked, what did he do during his life that, even after he died, his body remained intact? There is, and fragrance wafting from his grave. "I don't remember much," said the woman, "because my memory is very weak, but I remember one act, which my husband used to do every day. That is, every day when it is dawn, he used to go to the mosque to pray. Then he saw people praying, reciting the Quran. At the end, he used to sit in the mosque and he was reciting the Quran. But my husband did not know how to read Quran. Because of this, he suffered a lot. And seriously, Karokard, he would return home and said, 'How unfortunate that I am the Quran. I don't know how to read.' He is polite. Take the Quran on your chest and kiss it." He was eating and his eyes were watering. The verse that opens the Quran is his eyes. Reading in front, he would wave his hand and say, "O Allah, what you have written in this book. So true, and you are one and unique." He put his hand on a verse, it's been the same for quite some time, kept saying, and with his eyes water kept falling. Then he kissed the Quran and blessed it. He kept mixing with and that he would leave it in place. This work, my husband used to do it every day. This seems to be the reason why the inside of my husband's grave is fragrant. Friends, this is the story of loving the Quran presented to you. There are so many people these days. Those who can read the Quran but do not read it. Many read the Quran again, forgotten. I pray to God, may Allah bless you and me. Reading the Quran and acting upon it, granted permission to do it. Amen. Have you ever wondered why you are here? What is your purpose in life? It's a question as old as humanity itself, a universal curiosity that weaves its way through every culture, every mind. Life as we know it is a complex tapestry of experiences, fraught with trials and tribulations, victories and defeats. These twists and turns often lead us down the path of anxiety and worry, questioning the why, the how, and the what of our existence. But what if I told you that amidst this chaos, there is a unique plan tailored specifically for you, a plan crafted by a higher power, a divine architect. In this context, we refer to this architect as Allah. Allah, who has meticulously designed a path for each one of us, a path that may be strewn with obstacles but is ultimately beautiful. The journey of life may be fraught with challenges, but remember, Allah has a beautiful plan for you. So how does Allah's plan fit into your life? Let's delve into this. From an Islamic standpoint, destiny is an intricate tapestry woven by Allah for each individual. It's a divine plan, tailor-made for you, encompassing every moment, every decision, every joy and sorrow. Now, this plan might not always be crystal clear or even seem easy to comprehend. Sometimes it might feel like you're walking in the dark, with no idea where the path leads. But remember, every path is a part of the grand design. The hardships, the surprises, the moments of happiness and sorrow, they are all threads in this tapestry. They're not random, nor are they without purpose. They're stepping stones, guiding you towards growth, wisdom, and ultimately, towards a beautiful destiny crafted by Allah. So don't fret when the road seems bumpy. The twists and turns of life are not random events. They are part of Allah's beautiful plan. But how can we trust in this plan, especially when times are tough? Well, let's consider this. Trusting in Allah's plan is about surrendering control, about recognizing that the reins of our lives are in the hands of a power far greater than ours. It's about faith, an unshakable belief that whatever happens, it is part of a grand design. This trust, my friends, can be a wellspring of comfort. When the world seems to be closing in, when the road ahead appears fraught with obstacles, faith in Allah's plan can reduce worry and bring peace. It's like a lantern in the dark, guiding us towards a path we might not have seen otherwise. And sometimes this trust can lead to unexpected, wonderful outcomes. It's like planting a seed and patiently waiting for it to grow, not knowing what flower will bloom. When you trust in Allah's plan, you'll find that even the darkest clouds have a silver lining. So how can we embrace Allah's plan for us? A question that resonates in the hearts of many. The first step is through prayer, a profound connection between you and Allah. Through prayer, you open the door to divine guidance and acceptance, acknowledging that Allah knows what's best for you. Patience too plays a pivotal role. It's about understanding that life isn't always a smooth sail, but each wave that hits, each storm that rages, is a part of the journey Allah has charted for you. And let's not forget gratitude. Gratitude for the blessings, the trials, and the opportunities for growth that come wrapped in challenges. It's these challenges that shape us, that make us who we are. So see each hurdle as an opportunity, each hardship as a chance for growth. Remember, Allah has a beautiful plan for you. Embrace it, trust in it, and watch as life unfolds in ways you could never have imagined. Be sure to give a like to the video, and to get more Islamic videos regularly, subscribe to our Islamic channel and press the bell icon next to it.